Hey guys, today we're going to start talking about how to solve equations with inequalities. So first of all, let's talk about what an inequality is. So equal is equal, right? Inequality means it doesn't necessarily equal. So you've dealt with these before when you did greater than and less than. And I'm pretty sure you've also seen greater than and equal to or less than or equal to. So the difference between this is that with this less than right here, that means that if a number is less than 5, that means it can't actually be 5. But if it's less than or equal to 5, it actually could be 5 or less. Same with the greater thans. If this is greater than 2, that means it can't actually be 2, but anything greater. This one's greater than or equal to 2, then that means it could be 2 or more. So instead of using an equal sign in our equations, we're going to see these instead, which is actually not that bad because we're going to be working them out the same way, but you are going to use things with number lines also added to this. So let's talk about this. If you must be at least 35 inches tall in order to ride Pirate Lagoon, the key word here is at least 35 inches tall. That means that you could be 35 inches or more. So if that's the case, this next screen you're going to see a lot of different number lines, so don't freak out, just work with me, okay? It says which graph represents the inequality x is at least or greater than or equal to 35. So if you look at these four options here, so here's option 1, 2, 3, and 4. The one that is the greater than or equal to option to 35 is the one that is more than 35 but has a closed-in circle. You need to write this down right here. If you need to pause, let's pause it so that you can write that down. If you have a closed circle, that means that the value is included in the solution set. That means that on this one, this is 35 or more because it has this closed-in circle. This one has not included the answer in the solution set. That means it has to be greater than 35. So in that case, that means that the third option, that this one right here, is the number line that represents 35 or more, or, since it says it up here, greater than 35. So that means that this one, at number 1, if I was to look at that, this would be x is, well, it's less because it's to the left, less than, or equal to because it has that closed circle. That means it could actually equal 35. Number 2, I'm going to use a different color so it doesn't all blend in here. It has an open circle at 35 and it's shaded up, which means that x is greater than but can't actually equal 35. So just greater than 35. And on the fourth one, it has an open circle shaded to the left at the lower numbers. So this is x is less than 35. Can't actually equal it, but is less than 35. Okay, so take a second and pay attention to the fact that on the ones that are open circles, they are the ones that do not have the line underneath them. The ones that have the closed circles have this line underneath their inequality, which means it can actually equal that. So let's just practice on this. Just draw these number lines out, and we're going to practice these. So I need to see these on your notes page. So if x is less than 45, that less than does not have the line underneath it. That means that's going to be a closed circle. So if it doesn't have the line to mean a closed circle, that means it's an open circle on 45. And I like to say if it's less than, you can actually make a little arrow and it points to the direction you shade. Less than 45 means the numbers to the left of 45. This is my favorite part about the inequalities part, is that you get to like color on these number lines. It's the best part. On the second one, it's greater than or equal to 25, so you're going to have a circle that is closed because of this line right there. Okay, so it can't equal 25 or more, which is to the right of 25. The next one, pause it and see if you can do it on your own. If you're not ready yet, that's okay. This is x is less than or equal to -5. Since it's equal to, it has a full closed circle, and it's less than, so that means it's shaded to the left. And the last one is x is greater than -2. Doesn't have that line on it. See, it doesn't have the line, so there's just an open circle, and it's greater than, so you shade the greater numbers. What this means is that any of these numbers can be answers. Like 3 could be an answer to this because 3 is greater than -2. -10 could be an answer to this because -10 is less than or equal to -5. And also notice with our arrows that I've been using to help us, that only will work if the variable is first. Okay, if the variable's not first, then our little arrows won't work. So what we're going to do with that, we already did that, is we're going to put this with equations. So I want you to write down this first equation. We're just going to do one of them at a time. So the first one is 4x plus 2 is greater than 10. We're going to treat this like a normal two-step equation because it is a normal two-step equation. It just has a greater than sign. So you're going to draw your balance line, just like we normally do, and you're going to get rid of the 2. So we're going to do -2, again, just like normal on either side. And 10 minus 2 is 8. The difference here is we bring down our greater than sign. That's the difference. And you bring down your 4x. Now we have to get rid of the multiplying by 4 by dividing by 4 to cancel. And we will do x equals 8 divided by 4 is 2, but we don't put equals. You see, I already made a mistake. So we don't put equals because we're so used to that. We have to put the sign that's there, which is x is greater than 8. That means any number greater than 8 could be the answer. So when you get the answer, you also show it on the number line. So you need to draw a number line. And you don't have to start at 0. I know my answer is 8, so I'm going to do like 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe 10 since I made it too long. You look at this. Is it an open circle or a closed circle? Well, because it doesn't have the line underneath it, that's an open circle because it doesn't actually equal 8, but it is anything to the right, anything greater than 8. So this shows that all the numbers to the right of 8 are possible options, possible answers. Okay? We're going to skip and do number 2 now. I think we'll do it on another page though. So 3 minus x divided by 2 is greater than 8. So 3 minus x divided by 2 is greater than 8. This is a really important example. You really need to pay attention to this. Okay, this is where the biggest difference is. So we're going to draw our balance line at our inequality, just like we would do at our equal sign. And we get rid of the number that doesn't have the variable first, which is the 3. That's the constant. So we'll subtract 3 to cancel. And if we subtract 3 on one side, we'll subtract 3 on the other side. And you get 5. We bring down our inequality. And don't forget that that negative goes with your x divided by 2. I need to get rid of the negative and the divide by 2, so I'm going to do times -2 to cancel. Here's the big change. What happens is when you multiply or divide by a negative, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality, flip the sign. So we flip the sign. That means that instead of being greater than, we're now looking at less than. It literally like hits the sign as it goes over. So when we multiply by -2 on one side, we do the same thing to the other side and we get -10. So x is less than -10. That negative makes a huge difference in your problem, okay? And it's going to be very obvious when you do your number line. So if I have -10, this is going to be -11, -12. This will be -9, -8. It'll be an open circle, but because we had to flip the sign, it is less than. It's to the left. So the biggest things here, we have if you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip the inequality. You have to do number lines with your answers to show all of your answer choices. And these number lines do matter with if they're an open circle or a closed circle. So if you want to write down that greater than and or equal to and less than or equal to, these are closed, and greater than and less than are open. If that helps you to know that your greater than and equal to, less than or equal to are closed, greater than and less than are just open circles. Okay? I know this was fast. If you need to go back and pause it, go back and rewatch a part without taking notes and just watch it, do that. Okay? I want you to make sure you truly understand your inequalities.